Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. This is the first video for 2025, which is kind of exciting. Coming up on close to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 900, 901 or something like that, which never in my wildest dreams did I think uh, people would subscribe to watching me goof around on my iPad. So that's incredibly exciting and I appreciate it. Thank you very much for following along. Today's episode, I would show you guys how I did a little side project. I've been experimenting a little bit with animation within Procreate Dreams. And I got to tell you, it's incredibly exciting to be able to do all of these things just from my iPad. I mean, I really can't believe it. It's pretty mind bending. So I have this sculpt here that I did over the holiday break of Superman, which is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Let's zoom out a little bit. And, he was done just in the standard sculpting way. We can turn off the paint here. Maybe. I can never remember where it is to turn off the paint there. So you can get an idea kind of the sculpt. And I sculpt them up pretty much the same way that I do all of my sculpts. The body is actually from Mod Mesh, and then I modified it. I did my own fists because in the Mod Mesh sculpt it comes with an open hand. So we redid the fist, did the boots, the cape. The S is just a stamp, and I can show you that real quick how we did that. And then the head, I went ahead and sculpted that all by myself. So let's turn back on the painting. And the lighting consists of, I'm not even sure to be honest. So we have an environmental light set very low. As you can see, it's almost just a fill light. This blue light, which is set very low, that's just a point source. You can see it there. Another point source, or I'm sorry, not a point source, a spot source. Those are both spot sources. An orange colored one on the other side of his face, because if I turn that off, you can see how it darkens up under his chin, and I wanted to get just a little bit on either one of those to fill that in. And then we have a rim light, which is high and behind. And what's that is doing is it's hitting the back of his head and the hair, and it's just catching the edge of his collarbone. You can see it there. It just adds that little extra bit of depth. If I turn that off, see how flat he kind of becomes? It adds it behind like that little opening here in his fist too. And then the main light is just the sun. And it's close and it's aiming down. And you can obviously see the results of that. And then in terms of settings for post-processing, excuse me, let's crank that up. So we have reflections set, and we can kind of go through these. Let me turn this light off. There we go. And that's like minimal. I just left it on. Global illumination with the strength going is necessary. Helps fill in all of those shadows. Ambient inclusion, you can see the settings there. Kind of what that does. For the main image that I had in mind, that I used, that I put out on the social media, so to speak, I actually used depth of field, and I had it set like on his nose. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can move where it focuses using that depth of field. You just got to click on whatever it is you want to set the focus point. So in this instance, I try to set it on his nose, and then I can change, those distances a little bit. I just wanted a little bit to make it look like it had a little bit of a motion blur. There we go. Something like that. And then bloom was also critical for this look. because it kind of helps bring in the fact that he's in the environment. Like he's got spill light on his face. So it looks like he's more a part of it as opposed to if I turn that off, it's just a lot flatter looking. Tone mapping. You can see what that does, which is a big deal. I like using aces. And then a color grade I added. I took out a little bit of the yellow and added more blue and magenta in. I think maybe just blue. Yeah, just blue. And then curvature, I added a little bit of curvature. 9.2, just standard settings, 100% on both. And then I like to add, and you're not going to see it unless you really zoom in, chromatic aberration, just a tiny bit. And it's hard to tell even. But what it does, you know, if I crank this, you'll see it. It starts to almost ghost-like along the edges. And I find it helps to break up that computer-generated look, that fake look. If you add a little bit of it, it just helps add to the realism of things. Vignette I left alone, grain I left alone, sharpness I left alone for this one. Dithering is fine. Okay, so that's pretty much the main image. And then, you know, within each one of these I painted, I don't have them here, but I have them in the other one. We did the base coat, and then I added a little bit of red around the cheeks and the chin and the nose, and then along the edges of his face. Just the standard paint stuff that I've covered before in other videos. Nothing crazy. So now that we have our working model, I saved it out as just a flattened JPEG. Let's go back to, so here's our look, right? So that's the look I wanted. So what I did is exported out a render with a transparent background. Okay. And what that does is once that renders, let's go over to Dreams. I can bring that image into Dreams. And this is Procreate Dreams for anybody who's never used this. It's a little daunting to try and figure everything out because it's not exactly user-friendly. It's not, you know, they don't tell you, you don't see exactly what you need to do. So it takes a little bit of digging. But I've learned everything just through YouTube videos for how to do this. So I import that in, and you can set up, this is your stage, and then they consider this, I think, your backstage or something. I set it up for my canvas for social media, so I could use it as a reel on Instagram or TikTok. And you can do all that stuff in here. So this is, when you open Procreate Dreams, this is what you get. Okay, let's open one of these. I mean, this program's absolutely bonkers with the things that you can do. I mean, oh, here, I was messing with this earlier. I need to turn that on. Let's turn all these on. I'll show you quick. It even has sound. On this one, I don't know if it'll pick that up or not, to be honest. It's fine. So let's get back to what I got going on. So like I said, I opened up a canvas to fit that social media style, and you can, and they have different ones here, you know, if you want to do widescreen, ultra widescreen, social, which is what I did, square, if you were doing more of an Instagram thing, screen size, it's nuts. So we have that, and let's close these. Whoop. And we'll start with my imported image. So it's in there, and it adds my image as a track, which is here. Okay. down here. This gets a little complicated. So here is my base image. And I have the ability to move him in and out of the frame. So anything that is outside of your frame, outside of this white box, you're not going to see in the final product. Only what's inside of it. And the way that I move him, there's two ways you can do it. You can do what they call a keyframe. You set a keyframe. And all that is you click on this little director clapboard thing, hit move, and then move and scale. Let's just do it. Okay. And then you go ahead and you move your cursor. You can move him up here. Let's say he's up here and hit it again. And now when I go back to play it, it should have moved it. So that's one way of doing it anyways. The other way that you can do all this, let's copy this. Copy, put it in a new track. So you can add tracks over here if you hit this plus sign. And then I'm going to paste that track in, and I'm going to close. We're going to do it like new. Okay. So this is a new track. It doesn't have any of the keyframing. So you can see, oh, maybe it does. It must have like one keyframe in it or something. See what I'm saying when I say it's not very intuitive? You gotta, everything is like gestures, and you kind of have to figure out what the gestures are. This is all incredibly new to me. But anyways, let me go back. So like I was saying, you could keyframe it that way, or they have this neat ability, which I've never seen anywhere else. Maybe it does exist. I don't know. If I go and I hit this red button, which is the record, they call it perform. If I hit this red button, and then when let me zoom out a little bit. When I'm ready to move my character, it's going to record all of those motions. So let's give it a try. We're just going to move him around, bounce around. I have other things going on. Maybe hook him back up to that. And then bang. All right, and then stop. So now if I go back and play, I must have another one open. Turn this off. There we go. Do I have another one open? I thought I just had the one. You know what? Let's start this whole thing over. We're going to do a brand new one. This thing's giving me trouble. So let's do it. Let's just actually do it. We'll do social, empty. Okay. So I'm going to add my track, my Superman, and add a photo. There we go. This is from a previous, export. Okay, add, importing. Okay, so there's my Superman, right? Dead center. When I hit play, doesn't do anything because he hasn't done anything yet, right? So let's go back. I'm going to zoom out here, pull them down. Whoop. So that's also how you can scale these red dots. You can scale them in and out. You can rotate them. All kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to pull him out of frame. And I'm going to hit the record. And we're going to buzz through. So here we go. Coming up. Flying, hanging out. And then bang, he's gone. So now, when I play it, you see how it picks up. Oh, let's zoom in a little bit. All that motion, but it's doing it slow. So that's the other thing. I'm trying to remember how I did this. To make them go fast, I have to change my frames per second to 120. Done. Let's see if that did it. Yeah. So let's get rid of that. Let's try it again. Record. Oh, no. Record. He's flying around. He's flying around. He's doing his thing. And then bang, he's gone. I can shorten up the clip too. So let's see what that looks like. And you'll see why I switched. I have the cape as a separate thing in a minute. Okay, and he flies off. Good enough. And how you mess with these keyframes determines how fast that goes. All right, so that's cool, but we don't have a background. So let's add another track, right? And then add photo. And I think I used, I can't remember, was it this? Yes. Yeah. So I have this really long image, and I need to fill that. So I'm going to expand this, scale it till it fits that frame. Okay. And then what I'm going to do to animate that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to move it. Actually make this bigger because my hand's not the greatest. Okay. And I'm going to, for this, I'm going to set a keyframe. So we're going to go all the way to the back, to the beginning, right? Click on that, hit move and scale, and it sets a keyframe. Should set a keyframe. Yeah. And this little icon, that stands for the keyframe. Now I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'm going to move my background down. Okay, whoop, if it lets me. Why isn't it letting me? That's weird. The heck? It should let me move it, but it's not. And it won't zoom out either. Let's try this. Maybe I need to have the, there we go. I had to have the keyframe first. Okay. So now that we did that, let's go back. Oh, and if you use all four fingers and hit on the stage area, this area up here, it goes into like full screen mode. So now if I hit play, see how it's moving, but it's moving like super, super slow. So what I need to do is shorten this way up. It's still moving really slow. I don't remember how I did this. Track options, no. There was a way that I did it that it sped it way, way up. Oh, frames per second. Mobile. Done. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. So now I might not need to shrink it. Let's see. Bear with me. Okay, see how it's moving faster now? And you can get it to move even faster, depending on the length of this, I think. Yeah, see how quicker it's going? But then it's shorter. So what I did to speed it up, oh, and that's the other thing. So let's click on this. So if I have my keyframes here, you notice how like when I play it, it takes a minute to get it going. There is, trying to remember how to access it. There's something in here called easing. There we go. If you click and hold, it'll bring up this other menu. So it's set all easings. Right now it's set, I think, to ease in and ease out. You want to set it to linear so that it's like a constant motion. I think it deleted my keyframe. Yeah, it did. All right. Let's rotate this. Move. Try this again. That's fine. Okay. Now I'm going to click and long hold. Oh, maybe just. Now I do it. There we go. No, expand, move, and scale. See what I'm saying when this thing is kind of goofy? I haven't figured it all out yet. Edit. No. Stop. Those are your move and scale. I want to change the easing. Let's go back. Move, move and scale. Okay. Here. Move and scale. Move that down. Okay. That moves it through. So I don't know how to collapse these. So yeah, I have a lot to learn still, obviously. Set all easings, linear. Okay. So now when I play it, it should be faster. Yeah, see how much faster that is? But I run out of space. But you get the idea. So the way that I kind of figure that out is if I go here and I duplicate it, a bunch of times. Now when I play it, See how that works? And it looks like the background's moving. And I got even fancier with it than that, in that I rotated every other frame of that, grouping of that, so that it looked like it was more continuous. Okay. So the next thing to add to the realism, I figured, well, it would be cool if he had his cape flapping. So I'm going to go to add another track, add photo, and I have a cape. And I was able to do that in Nomad just by rendering out just a still frame image of just the cape with a transparent background. It's awesome. Add, right? Okay, so now we have a cape. And the problem now with this, let's shorten this up. When I hit play, the cape doesn't do anything, right? So Dreams has this ability to group things, and it gets really kind of convoluted. I thought I switched that. Let's move that down. There. If I hit this little 2 rectangle button here, it changes the mode, and then I can use my pencil and circle the frames I want kind of grouped together. Okay, so now if I click on that, whoop, and I go group, nope. Oh, get out of that. Maybe I gotta get out of that mode. Stop. Ugh. Where did it go? There. Stop. Group. So now I have a group of the cape and the character. But this thing is being goofy. Right? I want it to inherit the these keyframes. I can't remember now how to do it. I think I needed to do it before. Yeah, let's start over. Not over, but I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to bring in that whole thing again. Right? Add. So now it should put it right on top. And then if I select those 2 frames, and go to move. Okay. And now when I do it, I think if I do this, and do the whoop, so annoying. Chord. You know, he's flying. Boom, he's gone. Yeah, just moving through, whatever. I can edit it as well. But now you see what it did? Yeah, let's do a wide, big screen. It included the cape in the movement. So he's on there, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scrub to the frame where he starts to come in. And on just the cape, I'm going to go move, and I'm going to say, I think it's warp. Yeah. And I'm, stop. And I'm going to move some of these in. Okay. And then I'm going to go over even again. And I'm going to move them back. Move these out a little. Do another one. Move them in. We're doing this really fast just so you get the idea. Okay. Do another one maybe. Warp. Another one. Warp. Okay. Let's just see for the sake of the video. See how it moves the cape? Let's do that. So it looks like he's moving. Yeah, it's phenomenal. So what else? What else can I show you? He's even got a little motion blur going on. To kind of further sell it, I also did this. So the track, the track stack is important to how the whole thing kind of plays out. So, but what you can do, like to add a little foreground depth to it, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna add a new track, and it's up above everything else. And in that track, I'm gonna paste that. Okay. Now, when I hit play, you're not gonna see them until that track ends, which is right there, right? So if I hold in and I go to the blend mode, and I'm gonna do color dodge for the blend mode. Now when he shows up, see how it interacts with them? Let's change that blend mode. I think there's also a way to change the opacity. Let's make it overlay. But it looks like the environment is interacting with them more. Oh, I can't remember. I know that I think there is a way to change the opacity, but I don't remember. Whoop. Blend mode. I'm gonna just say overlay for now. Or soft. Let's try soft light. Yeah. So now when we look at it, it's subtle, but it looks like he's more in the environment. And then the other neat thing, like in my previous video, you can add things. So like let's say, he gets to this point and you want to add an effect like he's breaking the sound barrier or something. You can go track, add track, and then this little squiggle line allows access to all of the, essentially like a lot of these procreate functions. So you have these brushes. So I'm going to add like a little cloud. Whoop. Why is that so small though? Oh, that's why I don't have the right one. So we'll do that. And then, oh, I don't think I put it on the right track. Oh, so annoying. Let's put it here. So this track, and we'll put it there. Okay. And then you can barely see it, right? It's such a subtle thing. I'm going to increase the length of it. Hopefully. No, I just want to move it. We'll do fill and then and see how it kind of follows them along now. I'm going to change this placement. Whoop. Yeah, let's try that. Maybe shorten it up. Still too long. But you get the idea then, you know. Comes in, bang, goes. So the possibilities are really endless, especially with, you know, the ability to sculpt things in Nomad. You could do different angles and then kind of keyframe it. I mean, there's other things that I haven't even touched on, like this flipbook thing. So like, let's say I wanted to add some other clouds that are moving, I guess. Okay. I don't know how to go back though. Oh, done. So it moves them in and out of the frame. Oh, hello. Oh, that's the other thing. So if it's only going to play what's showing up on this backstage thing. So if I'm zoomed in, it's only going to play that little bit. If you got to go all the way out. Let's see. Did I? Oh, okay. So those flipbook animations are like way down here. I want to move these. Maybe I got to group them. Group there. So I want to move this on its own thing. Here. All right, let's take a look at the whole thing, see what that did. Superman comes in. Clouds somewhere. Oh, might not be long enough. Yeah, I think they're just too short. Yeah, because of the length of the video. Oh, I really got to sit down and figure all this out. Yeah. So I have it grouped so I can move it, but if I wonder if I could just like elongate the, oh yeah, you can. See if we can elongate these. Obviously, it's a bit much, but you can kind of see them. So now at least you see them. Superman comes in. I don't know what happened to his cape. I must have turned that off. I don't know. Anyways, but you get the idea of all the different kind of possibilities you can do with this thing. I'd like to incorporate more videos with it on my channel just for fun as shorts or something, kind of like I did with this one. It'd be cool to do Batman. It'd be cool to do, a variety of different things. Even something, a simple thing like just steam coming out of a coffee cup or something. So expect more of that stuff in the future. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think there's a lot of potential between the two programs to do some really neat things. So very, very cool stuff. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this week. I appreciate you watching as always. Thanks. Please like and subscribe, and I will see everybody next week. Take care.